Hey there, Cougars. I am bringing you a book talk on Ghost Boys by Jewell Rhodes. And 2 days ago, I picked up this book. I had finished the one I was reading, and this was next on my stack to read. And I picked it up and I started it, and it was a hard read. We have had a lot of stuff happen in our community that this book talks about, that this book addresses, and it addresses the hard topic of racism. Not just the conflict surrounding police actions and things like that. Our main character, Jerome, is a young black male who was playing in the park with a toy gun when a police officer pulls up and shoots him, and he dies. And our story is told from the perspective of Jerome after his death. And he meets another ghost, Emmett Till, who is another young black male who was killed for crimes that weren't crimes. Anyway, definitely something to look into historically. So anyway, I think this book was very, very well done. And this book is very relevant to today's times. This book is accessible to young readers. It's accessible to more mature readers. It's important to read. It's important to hear these stories, know these stories, and continue to advocate for change in our society. To be real about where we stand with each other, and this book it does a great job of not attacking. It does not come from a place of hate or anger. I think it comes from a place of grief. And as I was reading it, one of the lines stood out to me, and it says, better to light a candle than curse the darkness. And I was reading it and I was like, yes, better for us to talk about these things, and better for us to be aware of these things, and to know these stories and tell these stories so that we can do better. So like I said, 2 days ago I picked up this book and I started reading it, and it was hard to read, and I put it down and did some other stuff, finished it up today. 2 days ago I left school to news of the conviction of Derek Chauvin in the in the death of George Floyd. And that was some shocking news. Shocking because I thought it would take longer. I thought it would be years before we found the resolution to that. And it's only been a year. A year is a long time, though, especially in situations like that. So I'm grateful that another piece of the puzzle has been put into place. Those people involved will be working through that for their lives. And as people were celebrating that ruling, in another part of our country, people were mourning because a 16-year-old girl lost her life at the hands of a police officer. It's only 2 days. All the facts have not come out. There's so much to sort through, so many things to sort through. But 2 days ago, we saw the beginning and the end kind of situation. Convictions are not the ends at all. But 2 days ago, 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant lost her life. And so as I finished the book Ghost Boys today, and in this book we do have Emmett and Jerome, but there's these other ghosts that keep showing up, and they're the ghosts of all the other names and all the other people who have died at the hands of racism. And sometimes that looks like individual racism, and sometimes that's systematic racism. It's such a complex topic. It's so complex that adult minds can't fathom all of the pieces and parts of it. But I finished this book today knowing that Ma'Khia Bryant is now one of those ghosts, is now one of the ghosts that Jerome and Emmett are with, whose stories continue to be told. George Floyd, whose stories continue to be told. This book is written for middle grade kids. It's written for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. It is a book that should be read by everybody. And if you are just starting to learn about racism, if you're just starting to learn about the civil rights movement, if you're just starting to learn about the Black experience in America, it's a good starting place. It's a good place to see that that we need to have these conversations, that we have to shine light in the darkness and have hard conversations with each other, and read stories about each other and learn about each other and come from a place of understanding with each other. It's a great book for that opportunity. We talk about books being windows and mirrors, and this book is a window into a world that we should all take time to look into, that we should all use as an opportunity to talk to ourselves about how we learn from each other and how we live with each other and how we build community together. Like I said, this book does not come from a place of hate. This book does not come from anger. This book comes from grief, but it comes from a place of healing. And so as a community, we can easily spend some time, read Ghost Boys, and come from a place of healing to learn to do better, to be better, and grow together. So it is a social issues book. It's, like I said, a fantastic read. I can't do it justice. Just give it a chance. Give it a chance to read. And and Jewell Parker Rhodes she hit it out of the park. I've watched interviews with her talking about where this book came from and her soul, and I highly encourage you to find those interviews and watch them. This is from a place of grief and a place of love and compassion. Phenomenal writer, phenomenal story, and so well done for our young readers and some of our older readers who maybe needed to see this story in a new way.